When you hear the signal word, please stand, push in your chair, and come to the carpet. I will choose a scout. Ready? Culture.
Culture. A new way of life. Culture.
Awesome. Kyla, I love how you came to the carpet quickly, you followed directions quickly, and you've been working hard all week. So would you be one of my scouts? Thank you, thank you. And Liam, would you be one of my scouts? I love how you came to the carpet quickly, ready to learn. Okay, we're going to start out with our learning targets today. Now, because we're going to be reading in our social studies book, and in social studies, our social studies book is that nonfiction or fiction? Nonfiction, which means true or not true? True. It's real. They're real facts. So we're going to be talking about, we're going to be reading in our social studies book, our nonfiction social studies book, and because we're doing a lot of reading and listening, we're going to be we're going to be participating in conversations. We're going to retell and describe what we learned. Oh, we're going to be watching for those text features, nonfiction text features that we studied. Captions, table of contents, bold-faced print, all those nonfiction text features. And as we read, we're reading to understand that information that the author is telling us. Okay? So, but this is social studies. So we also have a social studies learning target. And we're talking about culture. So our social studies learning target is our country is made up of many different people and cultures. Our country is made up of many different people and cultures. Culture.
Culture. A group's way of life. Culture.
So our country is made up of many people with different cultures. So heads together. What is our learning target? Heads together. Oh, Scouts, look at all these people who are doing the zero noise signal. Excellent. You're going to have a hard job, Scouts, trying to figure out who to choose. Well, why is it important to know that our country is made up of lots of different people and different cultures? Why is that important to learn about? Heads together.
If we see someone else with like different skin or something, like maybe you could know that it was like a different culture than yours.
Okay, well, you are going to meet people your whole life, new people. You're going to be working with people your whole life. It's important to understand their cultures and the things that they believe in order to get along with people and to work with people and to show respect for other people, other cultures. Okay? So, let's listen to that song that we learned. Do you remember what it's called?
Yes.
Tell me what it's called.
What a wonderful
A
world.
Wonderful World. And we listened to it earlier today. You also heard it in Mr. Hernandez's class. Let's just kind of review and get our minds in that mindset. Okay. Kylene, would you get our lights for us, please?
I see trees of green, red roses. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
You can sing it, the words that you know. Let's sing just the parts that you know, okay?
I see skies of blue,
Clouds of white.
the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night.
And I think
Think to myself, what a wonderful world.
you can even make up some motions because we'll use this.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by.
I'm looking at your motions. See what motions would you have?
Saying how they do. They're really saying, I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I ever knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful.
So, is that the same version that Mr. Hernandez played for you? Okay, so you heard Louis Armstrong. That's the most famous one. And Eileen, would you get the lights, please? We are going to continue singing that. And like I said, we're going to put some artwork to this a little bit later, okay? So, when you hear the signal word, scouts are going to watch. You need to get your social studies book, and our assistant will put on page 226 right up here. So find page 226, and we'll study from our tables. When you hear the signal word, ready, culture.
Culture, a group's way of life. Culture.
You. So scouts, watch for people who, when they find their page, are studying ahead while they're waiting for the others to find their page.
2 people in my head.
Check and see if you are on page 226. It's not the Wonderful World song. After that.
There we go.
Okay, culture.
Culture, a group's way of life. Culture.
Good, and we are going to talk about world cultures here. So, first I want you to silently read that first paragraph. Just silently read that first paragraph. Give me hands and eyes when you have finished so I know that you're done. Okay, did it tell you what culture is?
Yeah.
What did it say culture was?
A group.
That's a group's way of life. And what kinds of things are parts of culture that it told you in that paragraph? Let me see it. Let me see your hands. Tell me one, Shajaya. Food is one. Yes. Tell me one, Kane.
Clothes.
Clothes. Yes. Ethan, what else? Music. What else? Bentley.
It also talk about like
Beliefs. Yes. Yes. What else, Adriana? Art. All those things are culture. All those things are a group's way of life. We have a culture here at Hunt. Our way of life here at Hunt, we do certain things. We say our pledge in the morning. We have a school pledge. We have expectations. We show respect because people share different parts of their lives. That's our school culture. So, this first culture that we're going to talk about in here is from a country called Ghana. Say that. Ghana. Ghana. So, if you look on the picture, this is a picture taken in Ghana. Take a moment. Think about things that kind of look the same as what we're used to here in Puyallup, Washington. Think of some things that look different. Think of the song, the part of the song where it talked about seeing a rainbow and seeing those colors on the people's faces. So on these pages, I think it was Adriana that talked about, that gave us that information a little before lunch about people's, or maybe it was Maya.
It was
Maya, that the people, colors of the people's faces. We have many people in our world, and everybody are different colors. So on these pages, you're going to see people of different colors, people of different cultures. Now, do you see a text feature there? Okay. When you see a text feature there, give me a thumbs up. You've got to look on there and see if you can see any text features. Okay. Awesome job, but you need to stick that away, honey. You can share that in a minute. Okay, what did you find, Braylon?
Caption.
Read the caption.
A market in Ghana, Africa.
A market in Ghana, Africa. So this is telling about this market in Ghana, Africa. Let me show you where Ghana, Africa is. Take a look up here. So Ghana is a country on what continent? Africa. Ghana's on this continent of Africa, and Ghana is right there because it's kind of hard for you to see where you, way back there. So it's this little country. Africa is the continent. Many, many different countries in Africa. Yes, I love how you are taking notes. Can I sit this right down here? And then you may share those notes with us, okay? But I want your attention right on what we're doing. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you're a scout. Okay, so Ghana is a country in Africa. Let's read this. We're going to read this part together. So get your eyes on that next paragraph. Follow along with your finger or follow along with your eyes. Together. Oh, I should tell you this girl's name is Abena. Can you say that? Abena. Abena. And what country does she live in? Ghana. So let's read together. Begin. Abena lives in Ghana, a country in Africa. People in her village sell fruits, vegetables, and crafts at the market. Oh, now stop before we go around. Before we go on, take a look at the market. How many of you have been to the market in Pioneer Park in Puyallup? It's usually when the weather is getting warmer. Okay. Take a look at the market here in Ghana. Do some things look alike?
No.
Do some things look different?
Yes.
Okay. I need to tell you. Well, let's read this next sentence. Ready? Besides English, people in Abena's village speak a language called Tsi. I need to tell you how to say that because I looked it up and it looks like it's a T. It sounds like it's a T-S-I. So if you go, it's like a T and an S together. C. Yeah. C. Sweet. Ready? Let's read that sentence again. Besides English, people in Abena's village speak a language called Twi. The children listen to folk tales told in Twi. Many of the stories are about Anansi. Oh, how many of you have read stories with Anansi? Ethan has. Adriana has. Addie has. Anansi. Oh, it looks like I'm going to need to read you some stories about Anansi because those stories came from Ghana. So many of the stories are about Anansi the spider. The people of Ghana say that it was Anansi who brought stories to the world. Do you think that's true?
No.
Anansi brought stories to the world?
Yes. No. Yes.
That's part of Ghana's culture, isn't it? That they have that folk tale and they say that Anansi brought the stories to the world. So I'm going to have you have a choice. You may bring your book to the carpet or you may leave your book at the carpet, at your table and come to the carpet. When you hear the single word, culture.
Culture. The Bruce way of life. Culture.
Okay, so what's the name of that country?
Ghana.
Ghana. And who is the girl in that piece in that part? What was her name? Abena. So I'm going to put Abena's name in parentheses because we're going to have an activity after this and you might need to know her name. Ghana. What continent is Ghana on? Africa. Good. We were studying those continents and you were learning them. You were memorizing them. Ghana in Africa. What language do they speak there in Ghana?
Twi.
Yes, and remember it sounds it's that T-S together sound. Twi. So let me put Twi. And I also learned that they speak English in there also because here's why. They speak English in that country too because a long time ago, Ghana was a colony.
A Place ruled by another country, colony.
It was a colony of Great Britain, of England. What else was a colony? What else was a colony of Great Britain a long time ago? Our 13 colonies, which are now part of the United States. Which are now part of the United States. Well, Ghana was a colony of England as well. And so they learned to speak English. So many of the people there still now speak English. But one of the most popular languages there, their native language, is Twi. Now think back. Let's see, what are some things they eat, or what do they eat? What did it tell you? Let's go ahead and head together for a moment.
Fruit and vegetables and bagel. Vegetables and grass. Get corn from there. We eat corn, vegetables, and fruit. The fruit, vegetables, and grass.
Oh, I see my scouts are scanning the crowd. Look at all these people giving me the zero noise signal. Okay, Bentley, thank you for raising your hand.
Right here.
Will you stand, and we're going to give you eye contact.
In this picture right here, it looks like they're eating corn. Right in this picture. They eat corn.
So, show us again, sweetie.
They eat corn right here. They're eating corn.
So he's looking at pictures for that information, because some of the information is given in the text and some is given in the pictures. And that corn is, we're going to call that maize. That's another name for corn, or that's the kind of corn they have there in that market. Braylon, what else? Fruit, Braylon says. So I'm wondering, what kind of fruit do you see there in the picture? What do you see, Brooke?
They eat vegetables.
There are vegetables in there too. So we can say fruit and vegetables. Let's be a little more specific. What do you see in that picture? Cooper.
Bananas and apples.
So bananas and apples, he's saying. I'm going to put bananas, apples, and in that part of the country, they have some very large looking bananas, and they're called plantains. Plantains. Raise your hand if you've seen large bananas in the grocery store and you think, oh my goodness, these look like super huge bananas. Those are plantains. Plantains. Brooke was talking about vegetables. Have you had yams?
Yeah. No.
Maybe for Thanksgiving, some of you have. Oh, look around at the hands. Some people have had yams and some people have not ever tasted them. I'm going to put yams down here. Yams. Sweet potatoes. Have you tried sweet potatoes? Oh, look at those hands. Some people have, some people haven't. What are some important things about their culture that we read about? What's some important practice or some important thing that's in their culture that we just read about you might need to reread? So those friends who left their books at the table, look on somebody else's. Bentley, thank you for raising your hand.
They don't have any grocery stores here, so you're probably wondering where do they get all their food. They probably have like a little farm place right in this field right here where they like grow their food.
So Bentley's pointing out the market, that's where they're getting their food, and different than our grocery stores, huh? So an important practice is that they shop at the market. Shop at the market. Maya, what's another important practice that you've learned about Ghana? You didn't hear you had another question? You were going to answer another question? Well, that is an important, tell us about that.
Nancy the spider?
She's talking about Anansi the spider. What do we know about Anansi the spider? What did it tell us there?
I've never read the book.
What did it tell us about Anansi the spider? Yes, Kyla. I'm going to come over here so we can hear you. Tell us again, what is it?
That they thought she made up stories.
Anansi is the spider in their folklore that they believe made up the stories. Thank you, Kyla. So I'm going to put Anansi the spider. That's their folklore. Awesome. Okay. When you hear the sing the word, we're going to get up and move again. So when you go to your table, we're going to turn and read about another culture. Ready? Culture.
Culture. A group's way of life. Culture.
Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you for being careful of the tripod. Love how you're reminding each other.
I walk slow.
Thank you for walking slow. Now, I'm noticing Diana's already studying her next culture. She's turned the page. So what is this next culture?
Spain.
And what text feature told you that it was Spain? One person, 2, 3 people know. What text feature told you we're talking about Spain now? Oh, good. I'm seeing more hands.
I forgot what it's called, but I know what it is now.
If you forgot what it's called, point to the text feature that's telling you it's Spain. And Braylon, what are you thinking? The heading. Let's read the heading, everybody. A community in Spain. A community in Spain. So let me show you where Spain is. Spain is not on the continent of Africa. Spain, well, I'm going to show you, and then you raise your hand and tell me what continent this is on. Spain is right there. Right there. Think. Bentley thinks he knows. I see 4 hands. They think they know which continent that is. What are you thinking, Bentley?
Actually, they do kind of do the same continent that we do. They eat normal food like they do.
But my question, you are talking about food right now. Good. Keep that in your head because we're going to talk about that in a minute. My question right now is what continent? If I put my hand up here, maybe that'll give you a little hint. Cooper, what are you thinking? Europe. This is Europe. Yes, Spain is on the continent of Europe. So I see Kyla going like this. That means she was thinking that same thing. Okay, so let's read about Spain. That name is a Spanish name. It's pronounced Eduardo. Say that. Eduardo. So let's read that together. Eduardo lives with his family in Cordoba, a city in Spain. Did you see that comma?
Yeah.
What did I do on that comma?
You pause.
Natural pauses. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Please read with me. Eduardo lives with his family in Cordoba, a city in Spain. Eating together is an important part of family life in Spain. So what is an important part of family life in Spain? Anybody, what is an important part of family life?
Together.
Eating together. Eating together. Is that an important part of your family life? Okay, some of you. Okay. Let's continue. Put your finger where we left off. Good. I see Maya right on that word, the. Let's continue. The biggest meal of the day is lunch. Many businesses close then so that people can go home to eat with their families. Raise your hand and tell me where I paused. Where was my natural pause? Let me read that again. Listen for my natural pause. I'm going to read, you listen. The biggest meal of the day is lunch. Many businesses close then so that people can go home to eat with their families. Oh, good. Now I see more hands. Addie, where did I pause?
Lunch.
Yes, I paused at that period. And the next sentence, where did I pause again? Kylene, where did I pause?
Then.
I paused right after the word then. That's a long sentence. We've been talking about pausing at natural pauses in sentences. And if it's a long sentence, our voice just naturally pauses there. Oh, I see Ethan giving me this. Yes, he was thinking that same thing. Hey, now, when I was in Mexico, which has a lot, they speak Spanish too, so some of the cultures are very similar to Spain. Good listening. Some of the culture in Mexico is very much like the culture in Spain. And when I was there, I was surprised because, like it said, their biggest meal of the day was lunch. What's our biggest meal of the day, usually? Dinner. We usually have dinner that's bigger than our lunch. Many of us eat a light lunch. It's not like that in Mexico, which now we're learning it's like that in Spain. Okay. Read the next part silently by yourself. Be ready to tell me a detail. Read the next part yourself and be ready to tell me a detail. Yes. Page 229. Did you read that? Okay, class.
Okay, yes.
What's a detail that you learned from page 229? Shajaya.
A big festival.
They do have a big festival. And that city is called Cordoba. Say that.
Cordoba.
Cordoba. In Cordoba, Spain, they have a big festival. What else did you learn there? Bentley.
In Cordoba, Spain, on the week of May, it didn't tell us what day. They have like a big festival. I think everyone gathers around. I think they just build castles.
So Shajaya's told us that they have a big festival, and now Bentley, you're adding more details that big festival in Cordoba, Spain, is during some week in May. Good, good. Any other details? More details. What else did you... Sarah?
A big crowd that fills you see a parade of horses, lights, and dancing to guitar music.
So in that big festival, there's a big parade. I see more people that got that detail. Okay, look at the dancer. What do we call that underneath? Now it's actually just naming the picture, so that we're not calling that a caption. What is that called? It's another text feature. Heads together. Give each other some hints. What is that called? What's another text feature? not a caption, but
Label.
yes.
Label.
Oh, Scouts, are you watching to see who followed those directions quickly that I only showed you? Maya, tell us, what is that text feature called?
A label.
It's a label. It's not telling us what's happening in the picture, but it's telling us what the picture is. So that's called a label. Everybody read the label.
Flamenco dancer.
Yes, I love how you were pronouncing that. It's also actually called flamenco. Say that. Flamenco. Flamenco dancer. Flamenco dancer. And she has, they're called castanets. Say that, castanets. They almost look like little wooden clam shells that they clap together and make lots and lots of clickety noises while they're dancing. Okay, when you hear the signal word, Scouts are going to watch you come give me hands and eyes at the carpet. So, culture.
Culture. A new way of life. Culture. Be careful, sis. Be careful of the tripod. Like always.
Okay, what is the name of the country?
Spain.
Spain. What kind of A sound is it?
A-I.
And does anybody remember the character's name or the person's name in there, the boy's name this time? Oh, it's kind of hard because you don't have your books in front of you, do you? You have to rely on your memory. And it was, Diana has it. Can you look that up, Diana? What's the name of the boy? It was in that very first part. You need somebody to help you say that because it's a Spanish word. Eduardo. Eduardo. So I'm going to put in here Eduardo. Eduardo. What continent? Anybody? What continent? Europe. Now, did it tell us what language?
No.
Didn't tell us. But we can infer from what we already know. What language do you think? Anybody? Spanish. They do speak Spanish there. Spanish. Okay. Did it tell you anything about, not necessarily what they eat, but something that's important to them about their food? Or, I do see some people that are remembering. That might be a little different than here. Roland, what do you remember about their meals? Yes, what about lunch? Lunch is the biggest meal. You're right, that's different than here. So lunch is their biggest meal. Now, one thing I thought was kind of strange, different, was, did you catch that part about the businesses when you were reading? What happens with the businesses? Do you remember that part, Sebastian? What did the businesses do at lunchtime? Yes, they closed down. I don't know of any businesses in our area that close down for lunch. They just have other people, when people go on their lunch breaks, they have other people come in and take over, right? So lunch is the biggest meal, and businesses close down. So while I'm writing this, heads together and talk about what are some important practices or something that you remember from Spain. Okay? Heads together. Scouts were the first two to put their hands up. Thank you. So, something that else that was unique or different from Spain. Yes, Shajaya. And she's going to stand, so we are going to turn and give her eye contact. Nice, loud, proud voice.
Every week of May, they always have a festival.
That's right. They have a big festival in May.
That must take a lot of food.
Anything else? Do you remember when we talked about the picture? Does that give you any ideas? Jaden, what do you remember about the picture that we were looking at? What was the picture about? May I borrow your book? It's always good to refresh our memories, right? What was the picture about?
About the dancer.
The dancer. Do you remember how that's pronounced, everybody? Flamenco dancer. Flamenco dancer. They had flamenco dancing there. Okay. So, Scouts, how many? Show me, let's see, do you have more than one person? Raise your hand, Scouts, if you have more than one person in your head right now. Oh, good, that's good news. Okay, keep watching because when you hear the signal word, we're going to go to the next culture. Ready? Culture.
Culture. A group way of life. Culture. I actually have 2. That's all I have. I don't have any more.
Be
careful.
Oh,
The person
good.
that was
Okay, so
about
you might-
to be out of my head.
Oh, keep watching then. Keep watching. And I'm looking at, oh, Maya's already studying. Diana's studying again. Roland is already reading ahead. Excellent. Kane's reading ahead. So, Adriana, tell us. There we go. Oh, it's not coming. There we go.
I know.
So, Adriana, tell us what culture we're going to study right now.
Japan.
Really super loud so that Diana can hear you.
Japan.
Japan. And where did you find that? How do you know it's Japan? Tell them what you're pointing to. What's that called?
Heading.
The heading. She's pointing to the heading, another text feature that tells us we're going to be talking about Japan. Everybody read that heading. A community in Japan. So let me show you where Japan is. We had a country on Africa, a country on Europe, and now a country here. Heads together, what continent do you think this is going to be about? Heads together. I'm hearing most people say it. You are getting so good at recognizing the continents. What is it?
Asia.
Asia. Okay, here's a tricky question. Let me back up a little bit. If we were leaving from Puyallup and going to Ghana, which direction would we be traveling? What do you think, Eileen? We would be going east. What else? Roland. This way's west, so we would be going a little bit south. So we would be going southwest. Which direction would we be going if we're going to Spain?
East.
Anybody? East. We would be going east. Now, here's the trickiest question of all. Do I have hands and eyes? Okay. Here, because this is the trickiest one of all. if I am going to Japan, here's, think about this. Which direction would be the fastest way to get to Japan? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see some more people. What are you thinking, Cooper? Cooper, I would like you to explain this because west is this way. I'm going to tell you, yes, I would go southwest. I would go a little bit south and west. But Japan's over here, so why would we go west? Can you stand, face your audience, or do you need this, or do you need this to explain? Okay, come on up. So, Cooper knows, as we've talked about, this is a flat map. Our Earth is spherical. Our Earth is a sphere. So just like we talked about, when we look at a map like this, the map maker kind of took this and spread it open to make it flat, but it's really round. So now Cooper's going to show us why are we going west when the map shows Japan on the east. Okay. Super loud. Shout it out to Ethan over there who's going to give you eye contact.
Because Japan is
Yep, you've got it.
right here and
I'll show you.
America
Yes.
was through all of the world.
So I'm going to put my fingers where he put his fingers. You're right. So he showed this is the United States. Here's Japan. The map maker split it open like this. So Japan's over here. But when we turn it around like this, if we take this and turn it around, we're going to go this direction and end up right there. Kind of confusing, isn't it? But the more we talk about it, the more we start to understand. Thank you. Let's give him a whoosh. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh! Awesome. So, this child's name is Yukio. Yukio. So and that name of that city, it's hard to say. It's Whoa. Let me think a minute. Omori. Omori. How many syllables?
3.
4. Omori. Omori. Okay, follow along with me. Yukio lives in Omori, Japan. Are you reading with me? Many people in Japan eat with chopsticks. They sit on cushions on the floor at a low table. Close your eyes and picture that in your mind. You know how you eat. Picture somebody sitting on a cushion on a low table. Not on a chair, but on a cushion on the floor. And picture what they're eating with. Chopsticks. Will you share that with our class, please? Super loud.
I like eating sushi with chopsticks.
At your house, do you do that, or at a restaurant?
We do it at Happy Bento.
Oh, that's right, because your family celebrates many of those Asian cultures and holidays, don't they?
Yeah.
Awesome. Kylene also just got back from Thailand, and that's on Asian. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a bit. But let's finish up with Yukio from Omori. Aomori, Japan. And remember how they're eating. We're going to need to put that on our processing chart. Find the word favorite. Put your finger on the word favorite. Read that sentence in your mind. Good. Did you tell me some of the foods then that they eat there? Brooke. Sushi. What else? Liam.
They eat rice.
Rice. What else? Sebastian. Say that again. Raw fish. Yes. What else? Kylie, what did you find?
Vegetables.
Yes. Vegetables. Yes. Jaden, what did you find? Seaweed. How many of you have eaten seaweed before? How many of you have tried that? Good. Hey. Class. We have one more paragraph and then we're going to finish up on our processing chart. Let's read this. Oh, you know what? This is called the Nabuta Festival. And here's that hard word again. Aomori. The Nabuta Festival in Aomori celebrates summer with a parade of colorful floats. Oh, make a connection. Colorful floats. What real life connection can you make with floats?
We have floats here. No, we don't.
Ah. Diana, what connection did you make to floats?
Every night they have a big parade with a bunch of floats.
So Diana says she was in Disneyland and she saw a parade every night with floats. Okay, what about here in our area? Good example, Diana, good connection. Sarah, what do you remember?
Like for New Year's Eve, this rose parade, and they have a bunch of.
So you remember the Rose Parade. And anybody been to the Daffodil Parade here in Puyallup? Have you seen those floats?
Yeah.
When we talked about this, did you make a connection? Okay, class.
Okay, yeah.
Put your finger on the word everyone. Let's read that last sentence. Everyone takes part and dances to the drums and bamboo flutes. Bamboo flutes. Have you seen flutes in Mr. Hernandez's room?
Yes.
I wonder if were any of them bamboo flutes. That's something maybe we can talk about with Mr. Hernandez. When you hear the single word, come join us at the carpet, please. Culture. Okay, tell me when you're done. Tell me when we're done. Good news. Okay, what country? What country? Japan. What continent? Asia. Now, again, did it tell us what language they speak?
No.
Did not tell us what languages they speak in Japan, but we can infer from what we already know. And what do you think?
Chinese.
Probably Japanese. You think? Japanese. Okay. What did we read about the way they eat or what they eat? Oh, thank you, Kane.
They eat with
Stand. You're going to stand up and we're going to turn right to him.
They eat with chopsticks.
They eat with chopsticks. Now, Scouts, are you watching to see who turns to our speakers? Good. Please keep your chair down, love. So they eat with chopsticks. Eat with chopsticks. What else? Ethan, what else? They eat with chopsticks.
Sushi.
They eat sushi. Yes. What is sushi, by the way? Anybody?
Raw fish.
Raw fish. Raw fish. What else? Let's see. Brooke, when they're eating with those chopsticks, where are they sitting? Say that louder for me. A small table low to the ground, right? And what are they sitting on? They sit on cushions. Sit on cushions with a low table. Okay? And tell me one more thing that they eat, Jaden.
They eat seaweed.
Seaweed. Yes. And Scouts, I'm hearing a little bit of chit-chat, so I hope that you know who is focusing this direction. What's an important practice, something they do in Japan? Maybe something you made a connection to. Addie, can you think of something they do in Japan that we talked about? Oh, thank you for being patient while they're coaching each other. Yes, the Nabuta parade. Nabuta parade, like we do. Okay, so here's your next activity. Oh, you know what we forgot? Who is this?
Yoko.
Let me see how to... Yukio. Yukio. And here's why I'm putting the children's names. Because you're going to choose one of these cultures, write that person's name down, and list things that you've learned about that culture that is unique to them. Put down things that you do or important to you in your culture and list those here. Now, what's the middle part for? 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at all these hands. What is the middle part for? Braylon. Tell us super, super loud. This is for both of them. This is the part, you are right, this is the part that this, like your culture and this, so what's the same about your cultures? Different, same. Okay? Lots of this because we've done these kinds of things before. Okay? Now, here's how you're going to do it. So, hands and eyes. First, choose a culture. Next, you may choose another person to work with because we learn from each other, right? We can bounce ideas off each other and you can help each other, but it's not going to help if my partner is working on Spain and I'm working on Ghana. So your partner, you and your partner need to be on the same culture. Okay? Now, if Kylene is my partner and we choose Japan, we can get ideas from each other on Japan, and she might tell me something that she does that I do too, but she also might tell me something that she does that doesn't fit me. I wouldn't put it here if it didn't fit me, only if it fit me. Okay? What are some questions you might have about this before we get started? Yes, Diana.
At the top, should we write it down like in the middle bowl and then the side?
Thank you. She says, at the top, does she write it down? This one says my culture, so that's you. But this is a possessive noun. So you're going to put the person's name in here, and it already has the apostrophe S. Okay? And then yes. You don't have to write that this is the middle. We know that. Okay. So, let's see. Who did you see, Liam? Why are you choosing Maya?
Because she was paying attention and not looking back.
So, because she was paying attention and not looking around?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is that showing respect, making good decisions, or solving problems? That was a very good decision, yes. You may go choose your Scout Award. And who did you see, Kyla?
Not kind at all, but the one person that I saw sitting I was sitting by the bonfire time, he was acting like that he changed the light and making me right in his face.
Oh, I like that you were watching somebody and then they changed the attitude and improved, because it's all about growing and improving, right? That was a good choice. So, was that, yes, I was going to ask you, is that solving problems and making good decisions or showing respect? It is solving problems. He did solve a good problem. You may choose your Scout Award. When you hear the sing a word, you may get started, choose your partner, and you may get started. Culture.